Sometimes you can't get in, especially if it's raining. Sometimes the doors won't close. Sometimes the transmission has catastrophic leaks. Sometimes the water pump just dumps all the coolant out of the car. And sometimes there are catastrophic engine failures. Lately, I've been trying to speedrun, buying all the cars the internet says are the most unreliable on Earth, and prove them right. Now, if I buy a car and it doesn't break, I really don't have anything to work on, and as a YouTuber that repairs cars for all of my content, I need broken cars. So I went out and I bought the fabled McLaren MP412C. The first year, so an MP412C, not a 12C. The one where sometimes you can't get in, especially if it's raining. Sometimes the doors won't close. Sometimes the transmission has catastrophic leaks. Sometimes the water pump just dumps all the coolant out of the car, and sometimes there are catastrophic engine failures. But this is an incredible car. The MP412C was one of the early exercises in engineering where everything was incredible. They built a car that is unbelievable to drive even today, and now this thing's 15 years old, but it's still an incredible drive when it works. The problem is, for me, it kind of worked all the time. So I found this incredible deal in a Facebook group for a clean title, clean Carfax, wrapped, I didn't know at the time, but tuned MP412C. And sight unseen, I sent the money for it, $79,000, and I wired the money away and picked it up at Mannheim in California about a week later. Right out of the gate, I get to Mannheim, open the door, hit the start button. It starts, low battery, check engine light. I don't even remember how many errors we had, but I think I brought my Autel. I did a little bit of planning for this trip, scanned it on the spot, and I think we started with 120 error codes throughout the modules. Something like, the normal 3 or 4 from the engine and a solid 111, 115 throughout the rest of the car. But I think the only light on the dash was check engine. So we cleared the codes and I was scared to death. I drove about a block out of the auction and went to the gas station and started calling all of the McLaren guys. I called Hoovy because he had a 12C just before that. I called Kevin at McMedics. I just started going through the list of, I think this car is falling apart. What do I do? One of the codes was misfires on the engine. So Kevin at McMedics was like, if you're getting misfire codes, it's probably the crank damper. You're gonna be okay. Just drive it home. And as soon as you see a flashing check engine light or misfires in general on a McLaren that you just bought with all of your hard-earned money, you're pretty much thinking that you just gambled it all. You put it all on black and lost it instantly. But with a little reassurance from Kevin, who told me that it just needs a crank damper and it won't cost more than $4,000 to fix, I was okay to drive it home. So I started my 1,400 mile cannonball back home. And it was incredible. It was an unbelievable experience ripping down all those open highways all the way back to Kansas. Now it's fun for the first couple states, and then it's a really long stretch down 40, which is a little unbearable without cruise control. And that car does have cruise control, but it just didn't work. After a solid 2 days of driving, we made it back to Kansas, and it was time to start troubleshooting the McLaren problems. And there weren't any. I got it back home, put the car up on the lift. The thing had been well maintained. Oil level was perfect when I picked it up. Tires were matching. Everybody had kind of taken care of the car. And the only real issue that it needed was a driveline damper, or it's really just a flywheel with a bunch of rubber damping in it. You can drive the cars just fine. It has a bunch of metal in there that if the rubber breaks, it locks together and it'll still get you home. Everything will be okay. Just like the Porsche rubber flywheels from the 944 days. You think when the rubber breaks, you're going to be stranded on the side of the road, but that's not what happens. They did build these things to fail. And other than getting a misfire code for a rattle in the flywheel, everything works just fine. So you clear the code, car drives perfectly, and we serviced it, changed the oil. We saw a little weep from the water pump, and the doors didn't close. So eventually I grabbed some Tesla Model X parts. The soft close module from the front doors on a Model X is the exact same latch that the McLarens use. Chevalier makes those soft close latches. They literally just plug in. There's no coding, no programming. You put them in and then suddenly all the doors work great. And you'd think that soft close is just like a dumb complaint, like I wanted a luxury feature on a sports car. That's not what it is. The McLaren is so airtight that when you go to shut the doors without the soft close, you literally can't do it. They're full carbon fiber and you have to slam them so hard that your heart breaks every time the door closes. I mean, you think the glass is gonna break in the door, but as soon as you put the soft close latches in there, it pulls it shut through the air and everything's great. So that was a big fix for the car. Other than that, I didn't have to do anything. That car ended up being super reliable. Legit Street Cars ended up buying it, and I think he sent it to Cannonball Garage. They might have finally done the driveline damper, but he loved that car. It did great for him. He drove it for another 2 years. I had it for nearly a year. I think we all had an amazing experience, and that car was bulletproof. And if you need to do coils and plugs, well, the plugs are pretty cheap, and the coils, of course, are from a Nissan Sentra. So you can go grab them at O'Reilly's, throw in a set of coils, and the car keeps right on running. So I tried to buy a McLaren that was going to break for content, and it really didn't break. After I sold the car to Alex, I found the owner before the owner I bought it from. We ended up learning like the entire lineage. And when he owned it, he had it Gentani tuned. And on the window sticker, it said it had the sport exhaust. It sounded great. It shot fire. I was like, this sport exhaust is good. But after the fact, I found out it was titanium straight pipes with the Gentani tune. So even wilder is the fact that car was turned all the way up to 11, shooting fire all the time and still running every day, never missing a beat.
When you're looking at a used car, the most important step is a good inspection, and Lemon Squad is the fastest, easiest, and usually the cheapest possible way to get that car inspected, because their nationwide network of certified inspectors can be on site usually within 24 to 72 hours anywhere in the United States to let you know exactly what you're looking at and give you the negotiation leverage that you're looking for. But look, when you're buying a used car, generally you are trading that downside of depreciation of a new car with some mechanical risk that goes with having a used car. And starting with a good inspection is the right first step, but things still happen. Things still break down the road. And Lemon Squad has just launched their new program, Lemon Squad Protect, to insulate from those exact risks. And the coolest thing is, once their inspectors say that the car is good enough to qualify and it goes through their system, you can actually just pay for it month to month and cancel it at any time. The coverage is really affordable, and it is the best way to have that peace of mind that whatever used car you're buying is going to keep behaving itself and not break the bank. So check them out now at the link in the description below, or use the QR code on your screen to check out Lemon Squad Protect and see if your vehicle is eligible. Check out Lemon Squad Protect to thank them for their support of VINwiki, and drive with more peace of mind with Lemon Squad.